It is Wednesday, August 26. Welcome to CGN News. 67-year-old Kamla Persad Bissessar was sworn in as opposition leader on Tuesday, promising to lead a formidable team that would work in the best interest of Trinidad and Tobago. Persad Bissessar, who led the main opposition United National Congress in the August 10 general election, said that the opposition would seek to provide support for the Twin Island Republic's development both inside and outside of the parliament. The CMC reports she warned that she and her colleagues will no longer be used as an excuse for poor governance and poor performance. Persad Bissessar said the country is facing dark times as a result of the coronavirus and pledged that the opposition will make its contribution to the socio-economic development of the island. Tropical storm Laura is being blamed for killing at least 23 people as it battered Haiti, the Dominican Republic and Puerto Rico over the weekend with high winds and flooding. At least 20 people died in Haiti, the Associated Press reported. The AP also said 3 people were killed in the Dominican Republic. Video posted by the Civil Protection Authority in Haiti showed a torrent of muddy water rushing under a building. At its peak, the storm left more than 1 million people without power in the Dominican Republic, where officials used megaphones to urge residents to evacuate. Tens of thousands remained without power Monday morning, but the country's 3 utilities had restored service to more than 400,000. Just over a month after Parliament approved a program that allows visitors to live and work remotely in Barbados for up to a year, 12 people have already arrived under the Barbados Welcome Stamp Visa scheme. Deputy Chief Immigration Officer Margaret Innes told a news conference recently that 3 of those visitors had already been in the island vacationing or working, but could not return home due to the closure of borders brought on by the COVID-19 pandemic. Minister of Home Affairs Wilfred Abrams said that between July 18 and last Saturday, some 1,079 applications had been processed. Abrams said that the USA, Britain and Canada accounted for 73% of the total applications. St Lucia has been upgraded to Watch Level 1 by the United States Center for Disease Control and Prevention, the CDC, indicating that the island's COVID-19 risk is low. In its latest travel health notice for the country on its official website, the CDC said over the last 28 days, new cases of COVID-19 in St Lucia have decreased or stabilized. However, it recommends that older adults, people of any age with certain underlying medical conditions, and others at increased risk for severe illness should talk to their health care providers before traveling to St Lucia. Overseas now, on Tuesday, more than 500,000 people were ordered to evacuate the Gulf Coast as Laura strengthened into a hurricane that forecasters said could slam Texas and Louisiana with ferocious winds, heavy flooding, and the power to push seawater miles inland. Information from the National Hurricane Center is that Laura would draw energy from warm Gulf waters and become a Category 3 hurricane before making landfall late this evening, Wednesday, or early tomorrow with winds of around 115 miles per hour or 185 kilometers per hour. Hurricane warnings were issued from San Luis Pass, Texas to intracoastal city, Louisiana, and storm surge warnings from the Port Arthur, Texas, flood protection system to the mouth of the Mississippi River. President of Colombia, Ivan Duque, has come under increased pressure and scrutiny to take more action as at least 17 young people were killed by armed groups in a 24-hour period. In a press release, the United Nations mission in Colombia says it has already documented 33 massacres since the beginning of the year. 8 young people were killed in a separate attack on August 16 when an armed group entered a house and shot them. A report from Al Jazeera News said that a father recalled finding his 15-year-old son's body on August 12, tortured and lying beside 4 other lifeless Afro-Colombian teenagers. None of the perpetrators in any of these incidents has been identified. Duque traveled to the most affected province of Nariño on Saturday to hold a Security Council on the situation. His visit was met with booing from locals where he visited victims' families. Global fast food giant KFC says it's halting its finger-licking good slogan given the current hygiene advice because of the coronavirus pandemic. It has altered its packaging with the phrase obscured, but KFC said the phrase would return when the time was right. The company revealed its new look through a YouTube video showing the slogan pixelated on posters. The finger-licking message has caused concern since the pandemic began. In March, the Advertising Standards Authority in Britain received 163 complaints about a KFC television ad which featured people licking their fingers. The complaint said it encouraged behavior that might increase the chances of COVID-19 spreading. KFC withdrew the ad. KFC has 22,500 outlets around the world. The British Museum has moved the bust of its founder from a display pedestal because of his links to slavery. The sculpture of Hans Sloane, whose huge bequest of artifacts formed the original basis of the museum, is still available for public viewing. However, it has now been placed in a display cabinet alongside objects and descriptions that reflect his colonial activities. Sloane's collecting career began in 1687 when he sailed to Jamaica, then an English colony. There he worked as a doctor on slave plantations and as a physician to the colony's new governor. He later married an heiress to sugar plantations in Jamaica worked by enslaved people, profits from which contributed substantially to his ability to collect in the ensuing years, the website states. After days of near silence from the Trump administration, Secretary of State Mike Pompeo on Tuesday released a statement expressing concern about preliminary medical reports that a prominent Russian opposition leader was poisoned. Pompeo said he supported an investigation if the reports prove accurate. The statement comes nearly a week after Navalny's spokesperson announced that the Kremlin critic was in a coma after falling ill from suspected poisoning. He was medically evacuated from the Siberian city of Omsk and transported to Berlin Saturday. The German hospital treating him said in a statement Monday that tests indicate he was poisoned. He remained in an artificial coma in intensive care, the hospital added. The European Union has called for an investigation. It is now illegal for pregnant pupils to be expelled from any school in Zimbabwe. According to a report out of that country, it is a measure women's rights campaigners said would help tackle gender inequality in the classroom and stop many girls from dropping out of school. The legal amendment, which was announced last week, is seeking to reinforce a 1999 guideline that was reportedly partially implemented. This comes as school closures due to coronavirus raise fears of a rise in sexual abuse and unwanted pregnancies. That's it for CGN News. I'm Scott Wilson. Thanks for watching.